Hey, Doxology. As we enter into this 2-year journey that we've called Kingdom Come, we are really excited about the opportunity and really the challenge for every single one of us to respond to Jesus' invitation to allow His goodness and grace to rule over every area of our lives, beginning with our resources. To help us do that, we're providing you this commitment card as a discipleship tool. And I want to take just a little time to walk through it with you as you pray and discern the step that God's inviting you to take during this season. If you'll open up the card, you'll see a worksheet inside. We've created this worksheet to help you think and pray through your commitment. You may not have to fill in every line on the worksheet, but the most important box that we're asking 100% of us to fill out is this bottom box right here. Our primary goal and our big, bold prayer is that 100% of us will engage Jesus' invitation to let our finances be our first and best reflection of who and what is first and best in our heart. And as you look down at this bottom box, before you make your final commitment, ask yourself that question. What would it look like for the goodness and grace of Jesus to rule over this area of my heart? That's our heart in this, no more and no less. So let me just walk through this card with you and let this be a guide to you as you think and pray through what step God's inviting you to take. The first box here says what I or we normally give in 1 year. This is where you're going to include what your typical giving is at a year at Doxology. The Kingdom Come initiative includes your total giving, not just extra or designated giving. So we want to begin this journey by celebrating where you already are in this area. Now for some, this first box, the number may be 0, and that's okay. And in fact, in some ways, it's really exciting. You're beginning your giving journey for the very first time in this initiative, and I love that. And as someone who's tried to walk this way for a really long time, I can say really confidently, I don't think you'll regret it. The second box here says my or our expanded annual generosity for Kingdom Come. We want you to spend some time asking the Lord, how are you asking me to grow or expand so that I'm truly giving my first and best in the area of my generosity? Wrestle with that and ask the Lord the tough questions. Is His goodness and grace truly governing your giving and spending and saving? Or does your spending and saving govern and direct your giving? Be as honest as you can as you seek to reflect here in this box the way in which God is asking you to expand your generosity during this season. And for some of you, that'll be a step from nothing to something, or from something to something strategic. He'll challenge you to pick a percentage and commit to it, or commit to it and strategize to increase it incrementally over time. For some of us, that'll be a move from something strategic to something sacrificial, to trust Him for something extraordinary or even extravagant. Whatever that step is from where you are to where He's inviting you, write that down in that box. And then we're going to add those first 2 boxes, normal giving and expanded annual generosity through Kingdom Come, and enter that total in the third box. Then we'll multiply it by 2, since this is a 2-year initiative. But next is a really important box. It's the gifts from stored resources box. You know, a lot of times we only consider our generosity in terms of what God will give us over the next couple of years, mostly through our income. We don't often think about what God has already given us in the past, our stored resources. And if we want the goodness and grace of Jesus to rule over every area, it's worth asking ourselves if we're honoring God not just with what He will do, but with gratitude for what He's already done in the past. And I believe everyone has stored resources. For some of us, it might be something like cash savings or retirement accounts or property or stock. For others of us, it could mean another kind of possession, something that God has given you in the past. And if you're struggling with what those might be, I often find it's helpful to just list out the 10 most valuable things that you own. Your savings or stock or property would go on this list, as well as your personal possessions. And then begin to work through that list in prayer and ask the Lord with each one, God, am I honoring you with this resource? For many of those items, the answer might be yes. I expect that'll be the case. Be encouraged by that. But if the honest answer is no, that thing, whatever it is, hasn't or isn't planned to honor God, or even in some cases, it's pulling in the opposite direction and has become a source of pride or selfishness or accomplishment, then God will likely reveal to you one of two outcomes with that. Either it's time to redeem that thing and start honoring him with it, or it's time to release that thing towards something that will honor him. And I want to encourage you to go through this prayer time with each of your stored resources. And when you find you're not honoring God with a particular resource, to put together a plan to either redeem that resource or begin honoring him with it, or to release that resource and honor him by investing it towards something that will honor him. And then finally, you'll add everything together at the bottom, and this is your 2-year total commitment amount. And again, ask the Lord, does this commitment truly reflect that you are first in my life and that I'm orienting all of my other priorities around you, not letting my predetermined priorities affect what I would give to you? Is this truly demonstrating that you are first in my heart? And only you will know the answer to that question, probably your spouse. So I also encourage you to pray deeply with your spouse, if you have a spouse, during this season, and make your decision together. I also want to draw your attention to the gift chart that we've created on the back of that card. For many of you, this chart will be helpful as you think and pray through what kingdom come looks like in your life. And I'll just say this from personal experience. If you haven't yet prayed about a number that you can't do, you probably haven't yet prayed about the number that you should do. Allow God to stretch your faith in bold ways through praying even through this chart, and allow it to be something that inspires you and challenges you towards greater generosity during this next season. And then proudly and confidently fill out the information box at the bottom so that you can commit boldly to this initiative. It's really important because it helps us as a church plan and pace wisely as we walk towards the vision that God's called us to. This is not a legal document. Rather, it's a commitment that reflects your yes to the invitation that you believe Jesus is extending to you. So boldly fill that out before you turn in your card on Commitment Sunday. Speaking of which, if you're ready to commit early, I want you to join us for a very special advanced commitment service at Doxology Southwest on Sunday night, November the 9th. We'll be gathering together from all of our congregations to make our commitments early and inspire the rest of the church. And if you're ready to commit early, I would love for you to join us. You will not want to miss out on that really special service. Then all of us are going to commit together as a church on the weekend of November the 16th during our normal worship services, which I'm prayerfully convinced will be one of those inflection points that we are still pointing back to long into the future for a whole host of reasons. Doxology, I'm praying that this season of Kingdom Come is an incredible time of growth in your walk with Jesus. While we've been stretched many times before, individually and as a church, this Kingdom Come initiative is challenging us in a way that we haven't yet been challenged, and I love that. I'm expecting that these 2 years will give us more than just a front row seat to what God's doing, that they'll give us a chance to be personally and corporately involved in some of the extraordinary things that God has planned for us and within us and around us and through us in the days ahead. I'm so excited that you're with us for the journey.